Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Wednesday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Another one of those weird days. Had one of these yesterday. We're having another one today, where in the middle of football season, not too much to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers today. The Steelers taking an off day on a Wednesday as they play on Monday night. We do have a little bit of news to talk about with them a little bit later on in the show. But today, another mainly Pittsburgh Penguins and Pirates live stream. The Penguins last night, we will start with them here in a moment. An absolutely insane, impossible, really. It was impossible for the Penguins to lose that game yesterday. How they lost, in the way they lost there, I'm going to explain here in a second. Just still trying to wrap my brain around about how the hell it was possible for them to do what they did. They somehow found a way to lose that game. It is absolutely impossible and insane. After that, we will get into the Pittsburgh Pirates. They last night, to distract us from the Pittsburgh Penguins blowing that game, they actually made their first free agent signing of the offseason, bolstering their bullpen. I like the move, who they brought in, and also another big bat that they missed out on off the market today. We will talk a whole bunch about the Pirates today, winter meetings down there in Orlando for the MLB wrapping up today, I believe. So, yeah, tons to talk about the Penguins and Pirates. We'll get into the Steelers as well. But before we get into everything and get this show on the road here today, let's get this out of the way. If you are new here, first off, welcome. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you never miss a thing on the channel here. Again, also like this live stream, share this live stream, and in the comment section, any thoughts, questions, or opinions that you may have, get those in there as well. I enjoy interacting with you fine folks that way. We go to that comment section to kick off the night here. Concepts, he is in there. Welcome, Concepts, back here. Same thing to you, George Pearson. Welcome back, George. Glad to have you fine folks back here on a Wednesday. Concepts, aside from us, starting the evening talking about Penguins and Pirates, Concepts is going to start things off with a little bit of football talk here as we are tuning in and getting ready for the Steelers and Dolphins on Monday night. Concepts here. Tua Tagovailoa, Dolphins quarterback, not the most mobile guy. TJ and Alex both need at least 3 sacks apiece. I'll be disappointed with any less, to be honest. Hope Harmon and Duggar can play. Yeah. Is Tua a statue back there? No, but is he the most mobile guy in the NFL? Far from it. Besides, Tua being, not the most mobile guy, I'm more looking at the Steelers' D-line. I want them to absolutely dominate this Dolphins offensive line. They have lost tons of pieces, especially going back, I think, to this offseason. So I want to see this offensive line, doesn't matter who, or this defensive line, no matter who's, banged up in the trenches. I know you mentioned Derek Harmon there, still trying to come back from a knee injury. You got some other guys who are on injured reserve right now. This is a game where I want absolutely zero excuse from this D-line. They got to get to Tua in the backfield, stop the run, make this, offense for the Dolphins one-dimensional. If you can do that, get them to pass the ball a whole lot more, then that plays into the Steelers' hands very, very well. Concepts again right here. Felipe Rivers about to go on a tear. I assume you meant Philip there, but Felipe Rivers, that's hilarious there. 44 years old, looked very out of shape in his press conference, to be honest. What's it been, 5 years? Yeah, since the COVID season, since Philip Rivers has played football. I believe he, in his introductory press conference, walked up to the podium and he's like, no Zoom? That's crazy. Yeah, COVID-19, we were all still wearing masks and being quarantined inside our own homes since the last time Philip Rivers was in an NFL game. So crazy times there. But back to your comment up here earlier, Concepts. I hope Harmon and Duggar can play at the end of that. Yes, Duggar with his hand injury. Hopefully he can come back. And especially, I love how you put Harmon before Duggar in that sentence, because the Steelers need Harmon back. Out of the little bit of Steelers stuff we have to talk about today, Matt Williamson for Steelers Nation Radio dropped an absolutely insane stat today on what the Steelers run defense is like with Harmon in the lineup versus what it's like without, and the difference, it is staggering to say the least. So getting your first round rookie back, that will absolutely be huge for the Steelers heading into Monday night. Hopefully the extra off day helps him get there. My father in here as well. Welcome, Dad. Like I said, not too much Steelers to talk about. We'll spread that out, portion it towards the later half of the program here. Do want to, like I said, get into some hockey talk to begin the show here today. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I, quite frankly, am still disgusted. Last night, the Penguins back in action, back at home, which they have been struggling at home in the past couple of weeks. So the Penguins were looking to buck a trend last night. They got off to a hot start, taking on the Anaheim Ducks. It was, I believe, Noel Acciari. He got the scoring started his second game back off of IR. Acciari gets his first goal of the season. It was a weird play. It goes back to that old adage that hockey players learn when they grow up. Hey, just throw it on net. You never know what's going to happen. That's pretty much what the opening goal of the game was for Achari. He comes in off the faceoff and just not even looking at the cage, throws it there. It beats Ville Husso high for the opening goal of the game. The first period overall for the Pens, probably one of their best that they've played all season. They hemmed the Ducks in their own zone. The Ducks, they're not known as a defensive team. They like to spend lots and lots of time at the other end of the ice away from their goaltenders. The Penguins did a solid job hemming them in their own zone, generating tons of scoring chances, especially that kid line. That was their best line last night. Rucker McGroarty, Ville Koivunen, and Ben Kindle. That was the Pens' best line far and away in last night's game. They outshot the Ducks in the first period, 18-8. So things were looking up. And then after that, the rest of the night turned out to be a bit of a disaster. Not that the Pens got blown out. It was a disaster in a very unique way. Second period, it was all Ducks for most of that period. They did have some penalty trouble, did Anaheim again, but the Pens power play could do nothing with it. Then Anaheim got to work. Jackson Lacombe, their, I think, top defenseman now, Lacombe, former top prospect of theirs, walks down the wall from a sharp angle, damn near on the goal line, puts it up and over the right shoulder of Artur Shilovs for the tying goal. Not too long later, Troy Terry for the Ducks, one of their top forwards, he corrals a bouncing puck and goes top shelf on Shilovs again. The Pens were able to tie it in the second period, I believe, with 18 seconds left. Sort of a scramble in front of the net. The Penguins just throwing everything they can towards the net again. Novak gets the loose puck and buries it to make it 2-2. Fairly even third period, but then Anthony Mantha on the power play gets a lucky bounce to go his way. The Pens, they get a power play with around 5 minutes left to go. Mantha looking for a cross-crease pass to Brian Rust. It goes off the goaltender's stick and into the net. That made it 3-2 Pens. Hopefully, the Penguins, they got the momentum there. They were able to survive the Ducks' squall of offense to escape with the win. And this is when the craziness and the most inexcusable outcome of the season happened for the Penguins. You're looking at your screen right now. The Ducks, with, I think, 17 seconds left, former New York Ranger Chris Kreider takes a penalty. The Penguins on the power play, 5-on-4 man advantage, with 17 seconds left, up a goal. That has got to be as close to a 100% win prediction on betting sites as you could possibly get. It's, pretty much a guarantee you're going to win. Face off all the way down in the Ducks' end of the ice. And the Penguins on the power play win the face-off. So by the time, face-off is won, you get possession of it off the face-off. I think Erik Karlsson or someone threw it towards the net, and the Ducks were able to get possession. 9 seconds left, their own end of the ice. The Ducks race the length of the ice, and you see Beckett Senek, one of the young forwards for the Ducks, skates through like 3 different Penguins, including Chris Letang, which he is having a pretty awful season defensively. Once again, just walks through Tommy Novak there, Chris Letang, and then Erik Karlsson at the end for good measure. Senek throws it towards the slot there. Didn't put it in himself. Throws it towards the slot. And Erik Karlsson, for some reason, decided to, I don't think he blew a tire there, just goes down to the ice, I guess trying to use his body to block a pass. The puck goes off of his hand and into the net, 5-hole on Artur Shilovs. And Seneca ties the game with 0.1 seconds on the clock. Not even a full second. The smallest fraction of time possible. Seneca scores, and the Ducks tie the game 3-3. Probably the most unlikely, crazy, situation-wise goal that you will see across hockey this year, maybe even for the next 5 years. And of course, it happens to the Pittsburgh Penguins. No idea what the hell the Pens were doing on that. That's absolutely inexcusable. The game went to overtime. I don't need to explain to any of you here on the channel what happened next. If you've been following the Penguins like me, you know how they've been in overtimes and shootouts recently. Again, OT, the Pens, pretty competitive. They got some good scoring chances. Connor Dewar, I think he was out there. He rang the puck off the post, and he had a wide open cage, so that was fitting for the situation for the Penguins. The game then went to a shootout, and of course, shootout might as well walk off the bench right there. And then if you're the Penguins, they get absolutely dominated in the shootout. They lose to the Ducks 4-3. Just a comedy of errors again by the Penguins last night, where they literally played 59 minutes and 59 seconds of hockey. And that 1 second was all it took between the difference of them winning and losing last night. Just absolutely inexcusable outcome for them for the performance they gave. Again, they had another, fairly solid game played, but again, left at the altar, the bridesmaids again, when it comes to getting that second point, instead of just settling for the one that you get when you get to overtime. As much as I put the loss on, guys like Artur Shilov's again not being able to make a damn stop in the shootout, Chris Letang and Erik Karlsson giving up that late goal. I got to put this, this loss last night, first time I'm really calling this guy out. Pens head coach Dan Muse. This was probably his worst coached game as Penguins head coach so far in his tenure. Just talk about having Erik Karlsson and Chris Letang out there. I'm just going to go through like some of the things off the top of my head here, just in the last 17 seconds to shoot out in that game, what wrong decisions he's made. Penguins on the power play there, up a goal. You put Karlsson and Letang out there. No offense, I don't know what the analytics or anything like that may have told Muse in the time, but you're up a goal on the power play. You don't need to score a goal. You do not need to put your offense first defenseman out there. I'm taking both Letang and Karlsson off the ice in that situation, and I'm putting on Parker Wotherspoon, who's been one of the best defensive defensemen across the entire NHL this season. And I'm putting on Ryan Shea. Ryan Shea, he, along with that third line, that kid line for the Penguins, he was probably the best Pens player on the ice last night. Ryan Shea, he was shutting down odd man rushes left and right for the Ducks last night, just getting stick on puck constantly. I'm putting those two guys out there over, the guys who make up what, $16 to $17 million combined. Put out the right guys in this situation instead of your best ones. The best ones were the right ones in that situation, but put out your correct guys for that situation instead of your highest paid guys, because that's what that result gets you. Karlsson, Letang, not the best defense-wise when they are needing to, get stick on puck and defend the goal. So that was miscue number one there by Muse. Then you head into overtime in the shootout. Overtime, I get it. They just put Evgeny Malkin on injured reserve yesterday, and they're down still Ricard Raquel and things like that. But Connor Dewar is the best guy that we're going to put out there in overtime. I know Dewar, he's had a solid year, but that's as a fourth lineman still. At that point in the night, Koivunen and Kindle McGrory, those guys are humming. They put Kindle out a little bit, did Muse, but zero signs of Ville Koivunen or Rutger McGrory in that overtime. 3-on-3 overtime. Lots of ice to work with. Lots of, fast pace, high speed action. Why don't we put out the youngsters in that who got the wheels and still, the youth and creativity to create scoring chances? I didn't get that. And in the shootout, same problems that have not been fixed by this team. I'll give Muse credit. He did put out there Tommy Novak, who played a good game last night as well, and Ville Koivunen for the shootout. But I hate saying this. We all love this guy to death. You cannot put out Sid in a shootout right now, unless you're up in the shootout and then maybe you see if your captain can end it for you. Please leave Sid on the bench just for a little while here with the shootout. It's the same thing over and over again. Comes in, not all that fast, down the left side, and then just stays on his forehand, and he tries to pick that top right corner on the goaltender's glove side every single time. It's the same exact thing over and over again. The goalies have it read, textbook. Husso made a easiest glove save in a shootout he'll ever make in his career last night. So just please, no more sit in the shootout for a little bit. Either tell him, say, hey, we know this is your bread and butter. You've done it all your career, and it's worked a good bit of time, but, now it's not working anymore. Either tell Sid, try something new, or stay on the bench and put out, one of these other kids who are going to, try a deke or something. God forbid we see a deke in a shootout attempt from the Pittsburgh Penguins anymore. So that was that. And then just to wrap up, the decision from Hughes, I get you had this guy practicing shootouts like about a month ago, and he was doing all right in a practice setting, but you cannot put Arturs Shalovs in a shootout attempt anymore in a hockey game because he cannot do it. I believe he is now let in somewhere around 8 goals on 10 shots, maybe 9 for 11 goals he's allowed versus what he stopped in shootout attempts. So you cannot have Shalovs do that anymore. I don't know if NHL history, if there's ever been a situation where a goaltender has been replaced by another for a shootout, but damn, we might be at that point with Arturs there because cannot, have him every single time be getting beat as badly as he does in the shootout. So that was just, comedy of errors again from the 17-second mark in the third period. What's left on the clock there. The Penguins then collapsing in devastating and incredible fashion. Like, you're mad, but also you're impressed about just how the spontaneous and chain reaction of events occurred beyond that. So this team right now, they are going through it. They're coming out of a terrible month of November, and now looking back at their, last 3 games here. I mean, yeah, they dominated the Flyers to begin December, but their last 3 games here for the Pens, it has been, very lucky hockey that they even got 2 points because, they got bailed out sort of by the refs in that Tampa Bay game with that Kucherov goal that was called back. They played well against the Dallas Stars, and they blew that game. And then they also they blew this game as well in a situation. I think they've gotten 4 points in their last 3 games. They should have had 6. Just inexcusable from them. The Pens now, by the way, 3 of their last 20 shootout attempts they have scored on. They are now 1 for 6 in overtimes and shootouts this season. So 4 points back. In the Metropolitan Division lead is where they are. They were to just convert, half of their overtime and shootout attempts. They might be, fighting for first place right now, but still horrible when the game goes beyond regulation are the Pittsburgh Penguins. All right. I think that's about going to do it for my rant on the Penguins right now. Just, again, speechless anymore as to how bad this team has been when they go beyond 60 minutes of hockey. Definitely need to work on something. If I'm Dan Muse, I'm having them practice 3-on-3 in shootouts the entire practice the next time that happens. Going to switch up gears here away from less gloomy subject in the Penguins right now to, and I can't believe I'm saying this, a more positive situation right now, and that is the Pittsburgh Pirates. Imagine that. It is December 10th, and we are talking about the Pirates in a positive light. Going to get into what they did last night and what they did not do today, signing a member free agent to their bullpen last night, but missing out on another top free agent bat here today. Back to the comment section here for a second. My dad Concept's in there. Need a good showing and convincing win on Monday night. Team and the fan base needs it. Definitely. If they play how they did against the Ravens, maybe with a little bit less of help from the referees, that way the win will look more legitimate. If they can play that way, aggressive on offense, getting after the quarterback, making him uneasy on defense, they will win that game Monday night. I need them to stack performances like that for me to believe that they are anything more than the 9-8 get blown out in the first round of playoff team that they have been over a decade now. So, hopefully that is coming down the pipe here on Monday night. Concepts again. Matt is great. That stat is wild. Just shows how amazing of a pick Harmon is and was. Yeah, Concepts, I assume you saw the stat as well. Night and day difference, the run defense with number 99 in there and number 99 on the sideline in street clothes. So hopefully they do get Harmon back. We will get into some Pittsburgh Steelers news to kick off the extra Pittsburgh sports news segment here in a moment. Before we do that, let's get through our final main segment here for the night, talking about the Pittsburgh Pirates. Last night, the Pirates getting to work. Ben Cherington making some phone calls. Their first official free agent signing of 2025, the 2025-26 offseason for the MLB has been made by the Pirates. They bolstering their bullpen. They needed to do this. It wasn't, priority number one on the list of things the Pirates need to do this offseason, but it is a priority nonetheless. The Bucs bolstering their bullpen, signing left-handed reliever Gregory Soto to a 1-year, $7.75 million contract. Soto, 30-year-old, former two-time MLB All-Star, I believe, back when he was a member of the Detroit Tigers organization. 30 years old is Soto. Last year, 70 games between the New York Mets and who else was he with? I believe the Baltimore Orioles. Started the year with the Orioles, then got flipped to the Mets at the trade deadline, I believe. Soto last year, 70 games overall, a 1-5 record, a 4.18 ERA, struck out 70 batters in a little over 60 innings pitched a walk and hit per innings pitched rate of 1.43. Soto here, I actually, contrary to what, some others out there may think, I actually like this move, bringing in Soto. Late, lefty for the bullpen. The Pirates right now, I don't think, off the top of my head, have a left-hander of note in their bullpen. I mean, pretty much all the lefties that they had last year for the bullpen, they're gone. Joey Wentz, he went to Atlanta. Ryan Barucki, I don't know where the hell he is right now. Tim Meza, he pitched like 1 month and then was hurt for the rest of the year. And then also the Bucs flipped Caleb Ferguson at the trade deadline to Seattle. So the Pirates, they definitely needed a left-handed reliever. That is a massive check mark in what they need to do this offseason. Also, Soto, former closer, former all-star when he was with the Tigers, he can eat some late innings for you. So putting Soto maybe as that 7th or 8th inning guy to be your setup man for whoever your closer may be, whether that's Dennis Santana or an Isaac Mattson, I like that as well. Also affordable contract, just going over the positives here for this Soto deal. Affordable, a 1-year deal. I know maybe some of the hate on this deal stems from that the Pirates still have not signed a free agent to a multi-year deal. But, for 1 year, $7 and a little over $500,000, I will take it. I like it. Bit of a restoration project is Soto. Played all right with the Orioles last year, but then when he got to the Mets, things really fell off for him. Career-wise, though, he is a high-leverage pitcher when facing batters in the left-handed batter's box here. In his career, Soto, 258 batting average, a 757 OPS, throwing against right-handed batters versus lefties, though. Lefty-on-lefty matchup for Soto, he is a killer. 211 batting average, 600 OPS, and his best pitch, fastball, needs to get back to where it once was a couple of years ago, because I think he used to hover around in the 97 to 99 mile an hour range, but little bit of work with the Pirates pitching staff, who I think will get him right. Looking forward to his fastball getting back. But talking about that lefty on lefty situation for him, he has an absolutely devastating slider and other breaking ball pitches. I expect him to be an absolute force for the Pirates out of the pen in those lefty on lefty situations late in ball games this season. So I like it. Gregory Soto, now a Bucco. They, steer him back in the right direction a little bit career-wise. I think he is going to be a very quality add to the Bucco bullpen. I like it. And also, talk about 1 year, $7.75 million contract. It gives the Pirates still some room to go bigger game hunting this offseason in free agency. And that is my attempt at a transition into some more hot stove stuff for the Bucs coming out today. The Pirates missing out again on what would have been a super splashy move that they could have made this offseason. First baseman Pete Alonso off the board. Back-to-back days now. The Pirates, who have been deprived of true home run hitters in their lineup for some time now, they now in back-to-back days have watched probably the two most prestigious home run hitters in the free agency class go off the board. Kyle Schwarber yesterday, Pete Alonso today. The Polar Bear signing a 5-year, $155 million contract with the Baltimore Orioles. You can get, if you want, in F the Ravens in the comment section right now. Might as well put in there F the O's as well, the Orioles. It's all the same. They're both birds. But yeah, Alonso, he goes from New York down to Baltimore, and sucks. Again, talking about the Pirates not having any home run hitters in their lineup. He would have been my probably second best add this free agency. He was second on my wish list for the Pirates. Schwarber was number one, of course, having a lefty in PNC Park, short perch there and right. He would have might have hit 50 bombs. Alonso, just a raw power right-handed first baseman. Would have loved to have him as well, and would have been a perfect fit for the Pirates, Alonso, in my opinion, because looking at the Orioles, they last year had 17 home runs. They had no hitter, that had more than 17 home runs. The Pirates, I'm sure they would love to have at least a 17 home run hitter at this point in their lineup, but they're not even close. Alonso, and they also added Taylor Ward, two guys who have been linked to the Pirates in the past. Ward, outfielder for the Angels, was brought in via trade. Alonso and Ward together combined for 74 home runs in 2025. And the Pirates, if they would have, ponied up, push, all their chips in for an Alonso, and would have finally been able to complete a trade for a Taylor Ward, you would have had those 74 home runs immediately plug and play into the Bucs lineup. But now the Bucs need to move on. Ben Cherington better have one hell of a trick pulled up his sleeve. I'm talking probably to impress most Pirates fans, maybe three of the other sort of B-tier bats out there on the free agent market. Go get one of the guys from Japan, Okamoto or Murakami. Go get Bo Bichette or a Eugenio Suarez, someone like that in free agency. Got to do that now to, in my opinion, be taken seriously next year lineup-wise and be contenders late in the season. Some other hot stove stuff going on today in relation to the Pirates. Want to get to it right now. Ken Rosenthal, MLB insider, yesterday put out a report that the Pirates remain open to trading another starting pitcher from their rotation. The names floating out there right now are Mitch Keller, of course, with that $18 million per year contract, and Mike Burrows, who the Houston Astros reportedly were in on. So Keller, Burrows, those two still the most likely names to be moved out of the Pirates rotation for a bat if a situation like that comes up. However, Rosenthal also added this morning that the Pirates are open on trading some younger pitchers, naming Jared Jones and Bubba Chandler as guys who could be moved, but only if it's for a huge haul. So you need to be talking about an immediately, put them in your 3 or 4 hole in your lineup, home run hitting batter, maybe even something else sprinkled on top of that. Don't think that Jared Jones and Bubba Chandler are not untouchable, according to Ken Rosenthal. Fits the narrative that every pitcher but Paul Skeens available for trade for the right price this offseason. Hopefully, do I want, Jared Jones and Bubba Chandler to be traded? Absolutely not. But still, do I trust Ben Cherington if a crazy offer comes up for him to get something of value back for those two gentlemen? I do not. So stick with your Keller and Burrows right now. Just please, if you trade those guys as well, make trades. John Morosi, MLB Network insider, he bringing a new name into the trade conversation linked to the Pirates. We go to the Sunshine State of Florida. Tampa Bay Rays second baseman Brandon Lowe being linked to the Pirates per John Morosi. Sort of put out there today on MLB Network that the Pirates are staying aggressive after their pursuit of Kyle Schwarber and are among the teams that have inquired to the Rays about Brandon Lowe. Lowe, I believe, probably hovering around the 29 to 30-year-old range in his MLB career. 5'10", 190 pounds, left-handed batting second baseman. Last year, excellent production. 256 batting average, 31 home runs, 83 RBIs, a 784 OPS in a little over 500 at-bats. Now, is Brandon Lowe, is he the type of guy that I would move a Bubba Chandler or Jared Jones for? I probably would not, but if you could maybe, reading the tea leaves here, Rosenthal saying the Pirates are looking to move maybe a Keller or a Burrows, and the Bucs are linked to Lowe for the Rays. Maybe give Tampa a Burrows and maybe a mid-tier prospect to get Lowe here. I would definitely do that for a 31 home run hitter. However, Lowe, second base, is he going to be the guy that comes in and, continues that production for the Bucs? I doubt it. And also, the Rays, the Pirates, those two, when they make trades, historically, the Pirates have been getting the super short end of the stick in that. So a little hesitant to make a trade with the Rays, but we will see if Lowe is available at the right price. Then I will pull the trigger and get a second baseman in here. I know people have brought up, what about Nick Gonzalez? I like Nicky G, but if you can bring in a guy like that for, not giving up a Jared Jones or Bubba Chandler, then you got to do it. Just get as many bats in the lineup on the roster as possible and let your lineup sort its way out a little bit later on. Speaking of Lowe today, the last thing on the Pirates as of right now, the Cincinnati Reds, they, like the Pirates, were in on Kyle Schwarber, and they also, per Rosenthal, are in on Brandon Lowe. So the Bucs, some competition in the bidding war, if there is one, for Brandon Lowe in their division with Cincinnati. Rosenthal, by the way, also dropping, maybe the Pirates don't need to worry about the Reds competing for them in the free agency market if the Pirates are indeed going to spend money there. He said that the Reds are not expected to pursue other expensive free agents this offseason. Their pursuit of Schwarber was their big fish, and it has gone away. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, 5 of you in here right now. Welcome to the live stream. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so that you never miss a thing here on the channel. Going to go back to the comments section here real quick before we get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news here for the night. We will bring up the Pittsburgh Steelers for the first time this evening. Flacco in the comments section. Welcome, Flacco, on entry. Your way of saying hello. F the Ravens, though. I do like Greg Soto. I like that addition. I think tons of people are very, very, worried about how he ended his season with the Mets, where he was pretty bad. But honestly, I feel very confident that the Pirates, who, with the streak they're on, developing and getting the most out of hitters recently, I would take my shot. I would lean more towards betting that Gregory Soto reverts back to his, 2021 All-Star self with the Pirates than he would be continuing his terrible end of the season with the Mets. So I like that low risk, high reward move for the Bucs. That I think the high reward is more likely to happen than not. Flacco here as well. Biggest question, is he a bigger killer than Chris Boswell? Gregory Soto against left-handers or Chris Boswell? Gonna go with Boswell. That one's an easy one. I mean, 211 batting average. That still shows that some of the Soto's victims gets away with it. Boswell, though, he is as close to 100% automatic as any serial killers called by their head coaches can be out there. FDOs, too. My brother's team send me help from Flacco's. At least your brother, the O's are trying, which, by the way, the American League East, that is going to be an absolute gauntlet this upcoming season. The Red Sox, they added some pitching with Sonny Gray and Johan Oviedo. The Yankees are going to be the Yankees with Aaron Judge there. I believe Dylan Cease and a couple other good free agents went to the Blue Jays. The Orioles, they now got the pound for pound biggest slugging free agent out there on the market besides Schwarber. And the Tampa Bay Rays, I mean, they keep Brandon Lowe. They might add some pieces and try to go for that division as well. So, we will see what happens. Tampa Bay Rays, your neck of the woods. There, Flacco's. I'm from here, but I don't like the Rays. Okay, so that makes it less awkward than for between me and you, me wanting to get Brandon Lowe to Pittsburgh. Then glad to hear that. Less than 17 home runs is crazy. How'd they make it to the big leagues? Not a single batter. Not sure if I clarified that or not. Not a single batter eclipsing 17 home runs last season for the Orioles. I don't think the Pirates had a guy like that. Maybe O'Neal Cruz made it past that mark, but certainly no one else was really close behind him. I mean, right now, I would love to add that kind of thing. Just thinking now of who the Pirates could get that would make me satisfied with their offseason. I would love to get one of the Japan guys, Okamoto or Murakami. That's a start. And then got no one at third base right now. If you can't get Murakami, who I think is the third baseman out of the two Japanese guys, then I want to get a Eugenio Suarez, 35 bombs, plays corner infield for you. That's killing two birds with one stone right there. No pun intended for the Ravens and Orioles there. And then, you add someone maybe to the middle infield there, a Brandon Lowe via trade as well. I would take that. Definitely need to make two infield additions. How they go about doing that, we will have to wait and see. But two infielders, probably two corner infielders with home run potential, I would love to get to Pittsburgh for me to be a little bit happy with their offseason. Flacco here again, wouldn't want to play for the Mets either. I mean, they kind of are going to be riding and dying with Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor right now because they shipped off Brandon Nimmo. They brought back Marcus Semien, but I think his bat's fallen off to play second base for them. They now have no first baseman for the time being. They might backfill that with a Paul Goldschmidt, I think I saw passing by today. And they lost their closer in Edwin Diaz. And their pitching, it's going to be very suspect, in my opinion, if they do not add there. So the Mets, they're in an interesting spot right now, to say the least. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep things shorter than what we normally do here on the channel. We've been live, I think, for over an hour and 15 minutes both nights to begin the week here. So let's try to fit this thing in at around an hour here tonight. We're already 45 minutes into stream this evening. Let's get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news. For the first time tonight, let's bring up the Pittsburgh Steelers. Crazy that on a Wednesday in the middle of football season, we now 46 minutes into the show bring up the Steelers for the first time, other than a comment from the comment section. Not much going on for the Steelers today. They were not in the UPMC Rooney Sports Complex today for practice. Mike Tomlin yesterday in his press conference said the Steelers would have an off day today, seeing how they play on Monday. Instead, Omar Khan, he was definitely in the building today. He made a series of roster moves. Offensive tackle Calvin Anderson, who was immediately ruled out for Monday night's game yesterday by head coach Mike Tomlin. Anderson with a knee injury. He is heading to injured reserve, so his season is over. The Steelers, in a corresponding move, signed Dylan Cook, who finished out the game at left tackle for the Steelers. They signed him to the active roster. Cook filling in for Andres Pete, who got knocked out with a concussion against the Ravens on Sunday. The Steelers, also made some other roster moves. They signed veteran 9-year veteran offensive lineman David Sharp to their practice squad, and they released from the practice squad running back Trey Sermon. So the Steelers making those roster moves today. Anderson to IR, Cook to the active roster. No update on the status of Andres Pete and if he will be getting cleared from concussion protocol for Monday night's game against the Dolphins. Also, the Steelers, I think I saw something from a Spring Valley Athletic Boosters account on Twitter today. The former school of offensive lineman Doug Nestor. Nestor could be back on the Steelers practice squad soon, as they reported he is heading out this afternoon to Pittsburgh. So Nestor, who was on the Steelers roster for training camp in the preseason, could be getting a call back to the team here soon. Some other loose end stuff for the Steelers here today. Some news on the draft that is coming up next year in Pittsburgh. The 2026 NFL draft in Pittsburgh, PA might be the fastest draft, at least in the first round in NFL history, as today the NFL making an adjustment to the timing of the first round of the draft. There will not be any more, hopefully not anymore, staying up till midnight from 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock on to watch the first round of the NFL draft, as the NFL notified teams today they will shorten the time between picks in the first round from 10 minutes to 8 minutes starting in Pittsburgh for the 2026 draft. So 10 minutes on the clock between picks in the first round. That was starting to get really, really annoying for NFL fans. And I think NFL teams seemed like every, 20 minutes there was a pick, because you got the whole 10-minute countdown until the team submits their pick, and then you got another 5 minutes or so to come back from commercial and then do a whole bunch of more talking and analyzing prospects and who the team might pick. So thank God they at least are trimming it up a little bit. 10 minutes down to 8 minutes. Adam Schefter with the report there. between picks in the first round. This will shorten the length of the first round, which had been finishing around 11:45 p.m., said Schefter. Teams were on board. Roger Goodell first mentioned the possibility of this last year at the Green Bay draft. So thank God the first round of the NFL hopefully going to be shorter, and we won't need to stay up as late on a Thursday night to watch it. Speaking of the first round of the NFL draft, I slowly, as we approach the conclusion of the 2025 NFL season, we'll see more mock drafts. We're going to get into mock draft season here before we know it. One of ESPN's top draft gurus or analysts, Field Yates, he is quickly filling in for Mel Kiper there at ESPN. He dropping his latest mock draft, and the Steelers picking 20th in Yates's mock draft. They fill a hole. The wide receiver 2 situation hopefully filled out for the next little while. Makai Lemon, wide receiver from USC, is the pick for the Steelers at number 20. Have mentioned Lemon a little bit here on the channel. I think just trying to get a baseline of who the first round pick wide receivers are going to be in this upcoming draft. You're looking at Carnell Tate for Ohio State, Jordan Tyson for Arizona State, KC Conception for Texas A&M, and Makai Lemon, and I think a couple other guys out west are being mentioned as first-round potential picks as well. So I like it. Lemon, bit on the smaller size again, 5'11", 195 pounds. So not, one of those guys above 6 foot, sort of middle of the road, not a super big guy like Metcalf, but also not, a, smaller guy like Calvin Austin or Roman Wilson. Lemon leaning that way, but I guess is in the middle ground there. Does have speed and is a big time baller, so I will accept that pick. Looking now, still 200 plus days out from the NFL draft, maybe. I would accept that pick here on December 10th. Last couple things here on the Steelers here, extra news for them. The gold end zones indeed will be making a return on Monday night. A new photo from Acrisure Stadium today showed that even with the rain and wintry conditions in Pittsburgh, the end zones are beginning to be painted yellow. Yesterday we talked about how it looked like the AFC logo and the Steelers logo made a return to the end zone. Now the end zone's turning gold once again. Kenny Pickett, former first-round pick for the Steelers, will be back starting. I saw that. Geno Smith for the Raiders dealing with a shoulder injury, and Kenny Pickett, who somehow looked good with the Raiders, I guess, by their standards this year. He will get another shot at starting in the NFL, and against the Philadelphia Eagles, nonetheless. So he plays his former team that they are having a rough go of it lately as well. And the last thing on the Steelers for today, mentioned I was going to come back to a stat from Matt Williamson, who works for Steelers Nation Radio. This Derek Harmon stat, absolutely insane. And this other one here from Jerry Dulac, I believe, is as well. Williamson, his stat right here, the Steelers were outrushed by 183 yards last week in Baltimore. Over the last 2 weeks, they have been outrushed by 374 yards. That is not a recipe for success. Both games, Derek Harmon has been out recently. The Steelers have been absolutely ran over, all over on by the opponents. So hopefully they are able to figure it out. Jerry Dulac, his stat as well. Here, let me try to find it. I lost it there for a second. Derek Harmon. Here it is. 9 games with Derek Harmon in the lineup this season. The Pittsburgh Steelers have allowed an average of 96 rushing yards per game. In the 4 games that Harmon has missed, the Steelers have allowed an average of 191.3 rushing yards nearly a 100-yard difference in rushing yards against when Derek Harmon is in the lineup and when he's not. That might be the most incredible stat in Derek Harmon. He must be, the next great Steelers defensive lineman, because that is a truly incredible stat, and insane how much of an impact a rookie has on the defensive line. Hopefully he comes back and is able to fix this run defense once again. Wrapping up the extra Pittsburgh sports news with some extra Penguins and Pirates talk here this evening. The Penguins, just some minor things on them. Sam Poulin, who was brought back up from the AHL yesterday, immediately sent back down to the AHL today by the Pens. So he got a free ticket into the hockey game last night to watch it from the press box, and now he's on his way back to Wilkes. Former Penguin from training camp and the preseason this year, Robbie Fabry, thought he might have made a case to make the Pens roster out of training camp a couple months ago. He, back playing in the NHL, is signing a one-year deal with the St. Louis Blues here today. And the last thing on the Pens here today, even though things are going pretty rotten off the ice right now, still can't carry any of that over to what happens off the ice. The Penguins batting 1,000 still when it comes to giving back to the Pittsburgh community. Today, the Pens visiting children at the UPMC Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh for Christmas, giving the kids some warm smiles, hugs, some gifts as well. Cool to see the Penguins out there visiting the kids who are battling tougher battles than any of us could ever imagine. And the last bit of news today on the Pirates that we have not talked about, there actually was some action at the winter meetings in Orlando today. The MLB Rule 5 draft took place at 2 p.m. For those of you who don't know what the Rule 5 draft is, I will give my somewhat educated but still pretty uneducated explanation of what it is. If a prospect has been in an MLB organization for long enough, there is then a draft pool that they will be entered in, and they can be drafted by another team to either go onto their MLB roster or, in the minor league phase of the draft, come over to the organization and continuing their development there with a new change of scenery. The Rule 5 draft today, the Pirates, they entered the draft with one spot open on their 40-man roster, so they could have added someone if they wanted to in the MLB phase of the draft. In the minor league phase, though, they had 4 spots that they were definitely going to fill. They did, surprisingly. You could pass if you wanted to. If you're an MLB team, you can pass on making a pick for your MLB roster. The Pirates did not, though, surprisingly. They took right-handed pitcher Carter Baumler from the Baltimore Orioles in the Rule 5 draft. Baumler, I believe 24 years old, had a 2-0 record last year with a 2.04 ERA and 46 strikeouts out of the bullpen, pitched across 3 levels in the minor leagues, I believe. A 108 whip in 39 and 2/3 innings pitched for him. Baumler, though, did not stay in the Pirates organization for long. We were wondering, all right, why did the Bucs fill their 40-man roster when they should be, still big game hunting in free agency? It turns out it did make sense because they immediately traded, probably I think 25 minutes after drafting Baumler, to the the Texas Rangers. My apologies, for right-handed pitcher in the minors, Yaiker Garcia, and cash considerations. I don't think Garcia is going to be a member of the MLB staff, so it's just picking up one guy and then using him as trade bait to pick up a prospect and some extra cash. So little savvy move there made by Ben Cherington. In the minor league phase of the draft, though, that is when the Pirates actually made some picks that we were expecting. They picked up right-handed pitcher Junior Flores from the San Francisco Giants. Flores, 23 years old, posted a 3.38 ERA in 10 games last year in the minors for the Giants. He now comes over to the minors for the Bucs. They also took left-handed pitcher Brandon Neek. Neek, Double-A pitcher last year, 4-6 record with a 5.40 ERA, 45 strikeouts, and 35 walks in a little over 46 innings pitched. They took 22-year-old, 22-year-old Kyle Larson from the Texas Rangers. So the Pirates ultimately got two minor league pitchers today from the Rangers in exchange for one and cash on top of it. Larson, 22-year-old, pitched in low A last year, 20 games, a 4.09 ERA, 44 strikeouts in 33 innings pitched. That is highly encouraging. And the last pick that they made today in the Rule 5 draft, picking up 21-year-old Brian Mena from the Colorado Rockies. Mena in low A as well, a 5.62 ERA last year in a large sample size, 107 and 1/3 innings pitched. Also, Mena with 97 strikeouts. So I especially like those last two picks. All in all, the Pirates picking up 4 pitchers. Well, you add in the trade of Baumler. They picked up 5 young minor league pitchers and some cash today. And the only thing that they really lost today, reliever Jack Carey, who was in Double-A with the Altoona Curve, he got picked up in the Rule 5 draft by the Cleveland Guardians today. So bye-bye, Carey, but welcome to the 5 new pitchers that the Bucs picked up today. And the last two things on the Buccos today. Last night, we reacted live to it over here on the screen. To my right, the Bucs picking up the 5th overall pick. That is where they ended up in the draft lottery. The Bucs now, a little bit of a caveat on getting the 5th overall pick. They now are ineligible for the 2026 draft lottery, meaning they cannot get the 1st overall pick. And as a matter of fact, I think they won't even be able to be in the top 10 of next year's MLB draft. So the Bucs, they've sucked for too long to where now the collective bargaining agreement, I think, now has a guideline in it where they are kicked outside the top 10 and will need to pick lower in the draft order than where they have been picking in recent history. Honestly, I hope that this just becomes a moot point because they are actually going to sign some free agents and be good enough to where they won't be in the draft lottery anymore. So I would like to have that optimism there. And the last thing on the Pirates today, they did make another minor signing other than bringing in Gregory Soto. They brought back Ronnie Simon, who they DFA'd a couple of months ago. They brought back Ronnie Simon on a minor league deal. Simon was up with the big league team for about a month, and then he tore up his shoulder, missed the rest of the season. 25 years old, so still young. Hit .234 in 27 games last year with the Bucs, but spent most of the year in Indianapolis. I assume that is where he is going to spend most of his time next season. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is about all that I have here for Pittsburgh sports news here today. Let's real quick wrap up here with your comments in a moment, but before I go back there, let me go here to see if there's any new news that has gone down since we've been live. The Boston Red Sox and Chicago Cubs, according to John Heyman, they were the other teams in on Pete Alonso last night before Alonso signed this afternoon. So turns out maybe the Pirates weren't one of the finalists for him, even though I would have loved to make a major splash and get Pete Alonso. Let's see anything else here. There was a flex in the NFL schedule just a moment ago. Nothing involving the Steelers, though. The Steelers in Week 17, they made a flex, moving things to be a doubleheader. Just 2 games past 4:30 on Saturday. I know that's 2 games on Saturday, December 27th. Now that's the flex that was made. The Ravens and Packers getting moved. Anything else here? Anything else? Not seeing much. So I think that is about going to do it. Outside of Pittsburgh sports news, though, crazy things. Apparently, the University of Michigan football program is on fire right now. Out of all the crazy stuff that has gone down in the past 2 hours with them firing head coach Jerome Moore. Apparently, he was having some conjugal visits with a staffer, and that's a big no-no. So he fired. Crazy. All right, back to the comment section to wrap up the day here today. Let's go back here to Concepts and Flacco in the comment section here. Flacco reacting to the MLB draft, the first round. Time between picks getting cut down. Good. I wake up at 3 a.m. for work. Yeah, it's absolutely exhausting. And last year, you guys were here with me the whole time. We covered every single pick in the NFL draft. It was brutal staying around for that first round last year when it was, pushing midnight, and then takes you another hour and a half to wind down, eat dinner, all that good stuff. So yeah, hopefully it goes much quicker. Hopefully we're looking more towards a 11 o'clock finish. I'll take that for the first round instead of pushing midnight. So I will take that. Drafting a lemon is crazy. I'm joking. He's not a real he's not really a lemon. Yeah, Makai Lemon. What a name that is right now. Cool names. Really, college football. I love seeing the posts out there where it's all the different names around college football and how crazy they are. Like the quarterback for Oklahoma not too long ago, General Booty. You got the coldest Crawford, I think, out there somewhere still. There's a couple of other guys. Nitro Tuggle for Alabama. Just crazy names out there. Makai Lemon, not the craziest, but still a good one. Concepts again here. Geno Smith has been god-awful. Remember when we were talking briefly there during the Steelers offseason? Hey, maybe you could have had Geno Smith. Glad that the Steelers did not make that move and they went with Aaron Rodgers because, yikes. Geno Smith, remember that whole, they wrote me off, I didn't write back? Well, might be time to write back there, Geno. Flacco again, LOL, 4 years, and Kenny Pickett better start looking not bad, LOL. Yeah, not bad. That's a compliment for Pickett out there. I think the Raiders, they are just like where we were a couple of years ago, where it was, the offense is so bad, even a mediocre performance makes you look like Dan Marino out there. So, yeah, Pickett going to get another chance to start for the Raiders. Steelers freak in here. Welcome, Steelers freak. Without Harmon is a differential of almost 100 yards. Yeah, crazy stat. Didn't imagine picking Derek Harmon in the first round. I'd like the pick at the time. I still do. But could not have predicted or guessed in my wildest dreams that Harmon would mean that much to the Steelers' run defense, that they would be god-awful and looking lost out there without him. So, yeah, glad to have Harmon. Hopefully he is going to be good to go on Monday night. Concepts here with a take Harmon over Abdul Carter. I'm blanking on the other D-line prospects. Carter may be a defensive end or edge. Work has my brain foggy on the details. Talking about, production to start their NFL careers. Derek Harmon, yeah, he's had a better rookie year than Abdul Carter. Tons of crazy stuff with Abdul Carter. Like, I've been seeing memes about him and stuff about him not paying attention in film sessions and all that. So, yeah, no idea what's going on with Abdul Carter. It seems like he's self-sabotaging his rookie season more so than, him just playing bad. So, yeah, Harmon's been good. I'm blanking on some guys from the past draft. You had Mason Graham who went 5th overall to the Browns. I think he's had all right, but I think Harmon's been a little bit better than him. Kenneth Grant, we're about to see, if Harmon's healthy, you're about to see a head-to-head matchup between Kenneth Grant and Derek Harmon. Those were the two guys I had at the top of my list for free agents. I think Walter Nolan, Ole Miss product in Arizona, has had a decent year, but don't really know how good it truly is because I don't follow the Cardinals. So, yeah, those types of guys Harmon's being compared to, and hard for me to pick any of them over Derek Harmon for what I've seen from number 99 up to this point. Concepts here. DK isn't likely to miss the game. Wonder if he'll miss time for an ab/hip injury. Seems like he started hurting after taking a big hit. They practice tomorrow first, right? Working backwards through your comment here. Yes, they do practice tomorrow for the first time. So tomorrow we will get our first injury report on the Steelers and Dolphins. Yeah, Tomlin also did confirm he did feel gingerly after taking a big hit in the game. And Tomlin also said Metcalf not anticipating him to miss the game. Would not be shocked, though, if you do see him as a DNP or limited participant tomorrow, and then he'll, as the week and weekend goes along, get back out there on the practice field. And Concepts, one last time here, always thought Geno for a third was insane. Matt Stafford obviously wasn't available, but I was pounding the table. Yeah, I would have loved Matt Stafford. Hindsight 2020. Right now he's having an MVP season, turning back the clock there. Though Stafford, back issues, still, I think rightfully so, scares me a good bit. So keeping that in perspective as well. And I think that is just about going to do it tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Did not reach that final goal like what we thought. So we are over an hour and 10 minutes on stream right now, but I think we'll end it there and we'll pick up here tomorrow night. This was good. Had a lot to talk about, the Penguins and the Pirates. Who would have thought, if you were to say 5 years ago, the Penguins you would be really down on right now, and the Pirates you'd be actually feeling pretty good about. That is a crazy thing to think about, but hey, goes with the crazy times in Pittsburgh sports right this second. So we'll talk about a bunch more things tomorrow. Steelers injury report, anything new rumor-wise for the Buccos in free agency, and if anything goes on with the Penguins, they are back in action tomorrow night against the Montreal Canadiens, and I think they're going to be going up against a rookie goaltender, so can't wait for the Pens to make him look like he is Martin Brodeur. Yeah, should be fun. So we'll see you guys all back here tomorrow. It'll be another fun stream, and then we will wrap up the week on Friday before the next live stream we have after tomorrow and Friday. It'll be Steelers-Dolphins on Monday Night Football. So thank you all. Have a good rest of your Wednesday night. Back here tomorrow to talk more Pittsburgh sports news. Thank you for the kind words, Flacco and Concepts. Peace. On your way out, subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications. Like, share, comment. Go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And check out SCSR 60 coming up here in a couple of hours. There we go. Now have a good rest of your Thursday night, or Wednesday night, excuse me. Peace.